What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Now today is Monday, June 8th. Now I am actually pre-recording this video on Saturday, June 6th, just because right now I'm on vacation with my family. So I may not be able to upload videos until maybe Friday of this week, so I'll be gone from Monday all the way up until Thursday. But if there's any emergencies, I do have some of my film equipment in case I do need to make any videos, just if there's an emergency. But today's video, I need to share with you something that's very important regarding the Binance clusters and their response to all the exploits that I've done on April 13th and May 16th. On April 13th was the very first time I exposed publicly these Binance linked wallets. Then on May 16th, it was confirmed with Claude that all these wallets that I have actually explored and found out about was coming from Binance Ordinal hot wallet and from Binance themselves. But in this specific video, I want to tell you what Binance was doing after April 13th and after May 16th, all the way up until this month of June. And I will tell you, something's going on in June that we're seeing that is pretty much very suspicious. Looks like they're gearing up for something that is very different from all the other months that we saw previously. So let's dive deep into it. Let's not waste any time. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. Okay, so this slide specifically, what you are seeing are the dates that I've exploited Binance. Now, the whole point of this demonstration is to let you know that they pretty much knew that we were going to exploit them. And what does that actually mean? Well, let's just go ahead and start on April 13th, the day that we actually exposed the Binance Ghost wallet. Now, this is the very first time that I saw this, but nonetheless, what we saw happen was quite interesting. In terms of net flows, there was a negative 136 million dog tokens. Now, rank 11, believe it or not, was the one that dumped 130 million tokens. Now, rank number 11 is a very suspicious wallet. Why is that? Because when we go over to this chart, guess where it's tied to? It's tied to the Binance Ordinal hot wallet. And that's something you cannot ignore. They also are connected to wallets number 33 and also 35. So this is something you just can't ignore. Rank number 11 came from directly the Binance Ordinal hot wallet. That is suspicious as heck. Now, when that occurred, guess what happened? The price of dog went down, roughly around 60, 70 million market cap, all the way down as low as 55 million market cap. So that occurred because of whale wallet number 11, the Binance linked wallet. But I want you to notice something very much down below, okay? So right now there are active wallets roughly around 22, but notice the internal transfers, which is this like yellow bar right here. Only 18. This is important because I'm gonna bring it up later. But now let's go over and fast forward to April 20th through May 3rd. Now what you'll notice is that wallet number 11 dumped another 170 million dog tokens. Now apparently this was across two different windows. 41 active wallets with highest count, second resistance test, roughly around 90 million market cap. And what do we mean by that? That means that when we saw these three different levels right over here, these three different levels were on purpose, meaning there is a reason why dog wasn't able to break out of that, because you started to see these Binance linked wallets prevent that price from going up. So that's why we saw these internal wallets repositioning themselves. Then we get closer to roughly May 4th through 15th. This is just right before May 16th. So why is this part really important between May 4th into May 15th? Over that time frame between these two different times, I was actually putting out more updates and posts regarding new findings of Binance. So basically, they knew what was going on with my account, so they were paying attention. And basically what we saw was net inflows into the past 12 days before May 16th exploitation of the network of wallets. So these top wallets, all of them 7, which we are very suspicious of, 70, 12, 35, 33, 34, 26, they were all accumulating. They were pre-positioning to sell into retail reaction once I had confirmed that this whole thing was a network of Binance wallets. And sure enough, guess what happened? We started seeing more of that distribution being masked. And roughly that was around 125 million dog tokens that was flowing into these wash trading wallets. So notice that now there is an active wallet 27, but also the increase of internal transfers at 22. This is on May 16th. So what happened? So on May 16th, this was the day that I exploited the Binance network of wallets. So here's the thing that's really interesting. Have you noticed that ever since May 16th, the price of dog was going down? To my surprise, guess what? there was no outflows of dog from these Binance linked wallets. In fact, they were seeing more inflows because that 127 million dog tokens that we saw pretty much flowing into these wallets, well, it's pretty deceptive because it basically was just rotating internally while distributing their tokens to buyers. So it made it seem like, oh, there's more inflows between these different tokens within Binance, but really they were actually selling into retail that was buying into the pump. So price did not even pump at all. In fact, it met that third resistance level, which we saw at 90 million market cap. Then that's why you saw a negative 27% downside, which we're at a market cap currently at the time of this recording, 60 million market cap. So retail bought, but cluster sold. Now, what we're seeing in this time frame is that there's a lot of consolidation. Now, this is the highest activity that we've seen so far between these 158 wallets. Now, apparently there's been a 359 transactions, 1 billion dog tokens moved, which is not a lot, but also 144 internal suspicious to suspicious transfers. So that basically these wallets right now, currently, as we're recording this video, they're actively repositioning. So examples like wallet number 70 is accumulating roughly 81 million dog tokens. We also have rank number 26 sells 72 million dog tokens. The cluster is consolidating into fewer wallets, meaning they're also very quiet. So really what they're doing is they're preparing for something next. It could be a catalyst. We don't know what that catalyst could be, but they're very quiet. They know exactly what's going on. They're watching these videos and they're paying attention. So why is that? And if you've noticed, the internal transfers is the largest that we've ever seen in the history over the past couple months. Look how big that is. It's absolutely huge in terms of internal transfers. Now let's talk about another thing, the wash trading that's going on between these Binance linked wallets. Now what's really interesting is that a lot of this pump that we saw in April 13th and thereafter all the way up until May 16th was pretty much manufactured. So you may think that, oh, it was retail buying in. Yes, it was a mix of retail buying in, of course. But as you saw over here, the amount of outflows that we saw out of like wallet number 11 was not the only wallet. There's also 22 other wallets that participated in that sell-off, which totaled up to around a negative of 186 million dog tokens between all 22 wallets. So that's very interesting between April 13th through April 19th, even though the dog price is going up, right? And actually, we see more negative inflows of these specific tokens coming from the Binance wallets and selling them into retail as the dog price continues to pump up to 90 million market cap, which we met a resistance 3 times already. Starting on May 4th, all the way up until May 16th, we actually saw massive accumulation of dog tokens, which was very interesting. Now, on May 4th through May 10th, what do we see in the dog chart? So roughly around here, May 4th, all the way up to May 10th, right around here. Notice that that's not a coincidence that we see more green bars. It's because we saw that Binance linked wallets were pushing the price higher just for the last rally before dumping the token, waiting for me to possibly exploit the network of wallets. But notice even after May 16th, the token of dog has been going down from 90 million market cap all the way down to 60 million market cap as of today. But notice that the wallets are still seeing more inflows. It's because they're repositioning. They're buying more of dog and putting more into their dog wallets. But ever since like May 30th, all the way up until June 3rd, the most recent data, it's been absolutely quiet. And what's really crazy is that there's only negative 70 million dog tokens. That's what, like 65,000 US dollars, give or take, maybe not even. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because something's happening right now in June. So basically, they're very quiet. They're doing minimal transfers and they just aren't really doing anything right now. They're consolidating. They're preparing for something. What is that preparing for? But they definitely know that we're paying attention. They are watching our videos. They're probably watching our X posts. They're probably watching your feed. But maybe it's because they know that runes are going to be the next meta, because right now they're not as wasteful as BRC20 tokens. You see that dog reclaimed at the time of this recording the #1 fungible token on Bitcoin other than Bitcoin itself. But what I will say, even though we don't know the answers to what's going on, really you can use this to your advantage and accumulate and hodl, because we're still reaching new all-time highs of holder counts. We're right now roughly around 81.4% all-time high holder count of long-term holders, and it looks like it's going to continue to increase. So with that said, I hope that this video has been helpful. Again, I will be back hopefully by Thursday. I'll make a video on Friday, but if there's any emergencies, I have my film equipment and I'll try to do my best if there's anything I need to report to make a video. If not, I'll just be staying updated on X. I'm going to spend some family time. I want to thank our sponsors C2 Blockchain and Trucker Biff. Make sure to smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog and Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.